Well, greetings fellow stationeers and welcome back to Mimas with me 54Bear, where we are continuing the brutal start by engaging in some really silly plumbing because reasons. So just did a minor bit of funkiness on the fuel pipe just to, I don't know, make it slightly funky. The task du jour is to come up with an ore distribution system. So I have here a furnace for degassing purposes. There is no logic on it. I may put some on it, I don't actually know, but for the moment it's manual. You just roll them in and it spits them out, which is not really the way I would like to go. So what I have here is a row of sorters, yet network is done, and it will spit out to one of these chute bins, which allows you to take one out without the rest splitting in your face. So that's a good thing. So I think 10 is enough, one for each ore type. I don't think I'm ever going to have any uranium because so far there is no use for it in the game, and I'm almost certainly going to have to print more chutes because I only have, let's see, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 123. I don't think that's going to be enough. So we will load up with what we have and see how far we go. Okay, so what I'm doing, except for the first one, there is a junction and an overflow on each one. Because I'm not going into silos or anything, the only capacity I have is going to be the actual number of chutes. And there's a possibility that the chutes could get filled up. So we do it this way so that if one particular, or if any of the chute networks become clogged up with ores, it can bypass and go to the next one. So if this one, say, is, for example, copper, and the copper outlet tube is full, anything else going through there would get jammed up without the overflow. With the overflow, as soon as it's filled up, it starts sending them that way and it will allow to process. And we even have that on the last one, and that's going to loop around. I probably will put a silo in play, but it will just be a generic dumping silo and the stuff will continue to circulate around. So that takes care of that side. Each one of these outputs is going to need to come to one of these, and it should be enough. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the most common ones back here. So this will be iron, for example, probably copper, gold, silicon, silver, nickel, whatever else. I can't actually remember the names. And pick them up here. This will be iron, it'll be same order. So that way we get a long run of chutes to store a lot of iron. So this is going to go to the overflow system, which for the moment I shall just put out to the side. This will come up. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Glass chutes are expensive. They're also frame rate killers if you have a lot of them. Alright, and we'll just go Actually, that's going to go into the overflow system as well, isn't it? Yes, it will. So these can actually be combined. So we will put a junction here. Like that. Straight one in between, straight one on top. And a curved one like so. So that's going to be my overflow. This one will be the iron. Now, of course, I'm going to end up with a lot of chutes coming back. Maybe it'd be better if I started with these ones. Because I don't know that I've got enough space to go up and down. Maybe I do. And I do want to be able to walk around here, so I would like all the chutes to be at least at this height. Right, well, these really have to go like that, I think. Because of the way I've got the cabling there. Had to, you have to stagger these at different heights because of the cable outlet. Oh dear, I did it again. Right, so that puts them all at the same height. So if we assume that this one is going to come to this one, just going to rough it in the simple way at the moment. Almost certainly going to have to tear this down because I don't think it's going to work. So is that the right distance away? No, it needs to come out one more. Make the turn. And obviously I haven't programmed any of the sorters yet. Right, so that would do that one. And this would come out like this. Now it'll actually have to come out further. And it'll do the same thing. See what I mean about the number of chutes? Actually, this one could have gone down one, couldn't it? Yep. Like that. Well, those two are easy. Now the next ones probably have to go above these, because otherwise I'm going to end up with a wall of chutes and I wouldn't be able to walk past it. So yeah, work on that basis. Whoa. Yeah, something weird about if you step off a ledge and then hit your jetpack. It's like it takes a while for the stabilizer to kick in, and you end up travelling quite a distance. Right, I have to sort out the waste tank in a moment. This is going to look very, very silly. But and something that will probably not surprise anybody, I don't really care. And I ran out of chutes. Except for these ones here. So I am going to have to make a lot more. I'm just trying to think how this will work. Actually, yeah, I think it'll work. It'll end up with a solid roof of chutes over this one. And I think it will look funky. So, yes, we will continue doing it this way, I think. Coming out at that height. Yeah, that one's a little weird because it has to cross over. But again, these ones will have to deal with something like that as well. So, yeah, let's see how we go. Ooh, that was not what I wanted to do. My initial idea was to have all of these in glass chutes and count back 10 chutes and like do a marker like with paint to indicate or to give me a way of counting how many ores I have in tens. But then I did a rough calculation as to how many glass chutes I would need, and it was a lot. And glass chutes are twice the price of regular chutes. And I do remember messing around with something like that before and ending up with absolutely abysmal frame rates. And, you know, my machine isn't state of the art, but it isn't really a slouch either. Okay, so I think we're going to take them all up at that height. I may actually modify this one and swap them around just so there's some uniformity on it. Right, so let's get all the uppers in place. And just as a reminder for those who aren't sure, when you're looking at a sorter from this way, the way I remember it is white goes on the right. So when you whitelist stuff, it comes out of the right hand side. It's a little confusing when you look at it from this side, so I consider this to be the back, and you're looking in the way it's pointing. And I did it again. Straight and that's it. Okay, I'm gonna need a lot more chutes. A silly number of chutes. Fortunately, I have a silly amount of iron, so I can afford to blow it all. And it's getting to the point where I'm wondering whether I should make a second pipe bender and put it outside, just so I don't have to keep running indoors. Anyway, I should be back in a moment. Okay, so we will continue on without commentary, so I can do it to music maybe. Still a little short. I shall be right back. Not to be distracted, on with the chute silliness. Okay, so kind of working both ends backwards, but yeah, I think that's kind of what's needed. So this one will just go up. Like that. This one will go down. Right, let's get these ones out. Oops. I'm going too far. Now, of course, that was never going to work. Okay, not happy with the fact that it is, in this section, it looks a little organized. I don't think we can have that. I don't think that's actually allowed. So this one's right. Now, these ones we really don't have a choice. but these ones we do. So we will swap them around. Because it's a silly thing to do. That, yeah, that one needs to come out one more before going up. There. We are silly, but we are consistently silly. Sort of. It'll look much better once we paint them all. Okay, now I do need to get something to store the overflow. What I could do, maybe, is just use the chutes. If I put, let's see, if I started off here with a junction, is that the right way around? Yep. Like that. Actually, yeah, that one there needs to be a junction as well. Junction. That requires two, doesn't it? Like that. Oh, shit. Did something go in there? I think something did. Yep. The right way around? Yep. Okay, so this one needs to start with an overflow as well, which is not the right way around. There we go. Yes. So you have to allow for all of them being overflows. Damn, I'm not going to have room to move it down here after all. That's disappointing. Oh, you know what? We can fix that by just putting a corner in, taking it up one, and putting in a junction here. Like so. And then the overflow will basically run along here. That being the general idea. Get rid of the little pile first. I might put a couple of windows on this just so I can see if stuff is actually travelling through. And I'm already fairly certain I'm going to regret building it this compact. But this is just silliness. I think I got that junction on wrong, don't I? I do. Junction. Yeah, like that. Because I want the furnace input to go through there. But I also want to have a manual input into this as well. So, ooh, this is going to get ugly. Maybe not. Okay, so this is 673 Kelvin in there. It will cool that down, so for the moment we will evacuate the furnace. And I can't get at the pressure regulators because they're inside. Yes, I can. Back pressure, I can change that to 0. I wonder if I can do it with this. Yep. So set that to 0. And see if we can turn that one off. Nope. Yeah, I didn't think that through, did I? Alright, so the furnace is reading just about empty. Oh well. I'm going to lose a bunch of air or coolant, but it's not much. And where is my spanner? There it is. Right, so I need to connect this to this, and also want to give myself a way of adding stuff in. And I'm going to want a sorter. Okay, how many ingots are there that I want stuff for? Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I'm not going to bother with uranium, so really only want 9. And I think I have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I can have the first one be just ingots. In which case I don't know if I really want to have it coming out of one of these, because that'll be a mixture of everything. Really, I'd just like to have them spit out in a pile. So this whole line might come out. I suppose for the sake of completeness I could leave it in. Yeah, maybe I will, because I may end up picking uranium up by mistake, or I may find myself in sudden need of pollutants, which I think is what it off-gasses. Okay, so we need another sorter. Right, so what we will do, I think, is we will put the new sorter up here. And I have to be cognizant of the fact that it's going to require power, although it could be buried. Rather than standing right the way up. We'll put it there. Alright, let's get that plumbed in. Right, just take it straight down. That's not right. Okay, that's better. Okay, so how do I want to feed stuff in manually? Would I ever want to feed stuff in manually? I might want to. I mean, I could... Because anything I do along here is just going to be very crowded. Because if I put something there, I can no longer walk through. As it is, can just squeeze. Okay. Could do it off to the side, but then I can't walk down that way. Right, so let's get this wired in first. I think that one's going to go off to the side. This one can just spit out there for the moment, so that'll be my ingot return. I'll come out and hit that cupboard. Right, let's get these squared away. Still don't think I'm going to have enough. In fact, I know for a fact I won't have enough. Too short. Dang nabbit. Okay, so where was I? Oh yes. These ones here. Alright, so oop. Alright, so that's the silly chutes semi-sorted. Still have to wire in and label everything. Well, I don't have to label these things, but I'm going to figure out where I want to pick the ores up from. I want iron here. I found out which sorter I'm connected to. It should be the furthest one, and then I'd program that one for iron and do the same for copper, gold, and that stuff. So the least common ores, or ore, which would be uranium, would be this one, which should, in theory, have the smallest stack. So the first sorter that it comes to is going to be uranium. So everything is going to go through that. Hardly, well, this one will hardly ever be used. That's not an efficient way of doing it. Yeah, it just puts the least used things at the beginning. What I should probably have done is turn all these round and throw them in the other end and work towards me rather than away from. But I'm buggered if I'm going to go through and change all that now. Yeah, so I think this looks suitably weird. Okay, take all time. Now I have to figure out what network they're being connected to.
Caution.
So the yellow network is the one that is coming out of the base. And I always have to keep checking because I keep changing the colour. Whenever I modify the wiring, I do a quick repaint just to make certain everything is currently connected where I think it should be. Okay, so this we will do. Right, this needs to be connected as well. So we'll connect this to the same network. So the only time this will ever be off is where we are connecting to, or where I turn it off in the base. Alright, so this needs to be connected as well. Let's see, how do I want to run that cable? We'll change that to a three-way. And we'll just run it under there. Did that connect everything? Yes, it did. So just to check everything, it's that network that I've connected it to is currently yellow. So let's make it pink. And it's pink up the wall here. So that tells me that everything that should be connected is connected. But I do need to put in a computer to do the programming. But I think we'll keep it neat and tidy. And we'll put in the old school one. For no other reason other than it looks stupid. Right, so this will need one of them, and one of them. Needs the sorter motherboard. Devices. Okay, so now I get to name everything. And we have to figure out which one is going to be which. So this one I want to be iron. So we'll make it a sort of iron colour, which is brown. This one we want to be copper, so I'll make that a sort of copper colour, which will be green. This one I want to be gold, so we'll make that a goldy type colour. Then silicon, I think. So that would be white. Then silver. Well, I guess we'll leave that as grey. Nickel, orange. Coal. Alright, so that we will make black. Cobalt we will make blue. Alright, that one's going to be uranium. So what's the other one I'm missing? Iron, copper, gold, silicon, silver, nickel, coal, cobalt, lead. Right. Lead colour. No, I guess olive. Right, so it gives me different colours for everything. Right, that'll be silver. Gold. Gold. Avion. Lead. And radium. Right, now this is the bit I really detest doing. Thankfully you only have to do it once, but you then have to, let me clear all of these things out of the way. So whitelist for lead will be lead. Now you have to go and find it. And there's this bloody horrible interface, but I think the ores are all at the bottom. Or lead. Okay, that's that one done. So uranium, we will whitelist. Oh, it's so difficult to read. And scroll. I've lost the scroll thing. Ah, jeez. There we go. And that's all that's needed. So why did these ones at the top not save? Jesus wept. Did I not get to them? I guess it didn't start at the top of the list. Right, silicon. Silicon, yep. Good. I'm sure that's not how you spell nickel. I'm sure I've had a brain fart and done it wrong. Okay, so hopefully that is it. No, this top one. Oh, that's the one for ores. So that one will be a little bit easier to set up. Okay, all the others seem to be okay. So we'll change this top one. We want to whitelist ingots. Ingot. There we go. So anything that comes out that's an ingot comes out that one up there. Everything else goes into the system. Right, and with that I think I can turn them off, but to be safe I will turn all these on first, just in case they need to be on to receive and retain their programming, because I really don't want to go through that menu selection thing again. Alright, so we'll just give it a couple of megapascals. The pressure in the furnace will go down as it fills up the room. Temperature should equalize. Of course I can't tell. Oh, I have to kind of hover up. This is the thing with having two windows. So that should have gone out into the system, and it should come out here, because I think orange was the colour that we used for nickel. Of course, there are 10 sorters and a largish pipe network to come through, so it may take a while.
20 minutes later.
I didn't turn this on, did I? And And there we have it. It did go through. Yeah, I was going to manually fill it, then I realised I needed to run them through the degasser first. So let me put that a little bit back. There, we'll do a copper. We'll do an iron. We'll do a coal. We'll do a lead. Oh, it actually was hot enough to do copper and lead. Now, there's the iron where we expected it. There's the coal where we expected it. So, provisionally a success. This cupboard will have to go, of course, because it's going to get a little bit old running through this narrow gap, especially if there's going to be a pile of ingots there. That is not ideal. So we should probably set up maybe a vending machine, or maybe just a crazy silly run of chutes that will deposit the ingots somewhere on the floor in here. I mean, that's a totally stupid idea, so yeah, we're absolutely going to do that. Anyway, not much revolutionary stuff. Hope you found it interesting, insightful, useful, amusing, but not boring. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. 54 Bear out.